Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order for the Public Works and Highway Committee, Tuesday, January 4th, 2022 at 6 p.m. in the Germantown Village Hall Boardroom. This meeting has been given public notice in accordance with Wisconsin statutes section 19.83 and 19.84 in such form that will apprise the general public and news media of subject matter that is intended for consideration and action. Roll call shows that Trustee Hudson, Miller, and Nyrider are in attendance. Chairman Kaminsky is absent, excused. I would like a nomination for chair.
I'll make a motion to appoint Rick Miller as Chairman Pro Tem.
I'll second it.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
All right, with that, we will move on to approval of the, oh wait, do I have to do roll call first? Did I miss that? Gotcha. I was paying attention, honest. Okay, with that, we'll move to approval of the minutes of December 8th, 2021.
I'll move to that effect.
I'll second it.
All right, we have motion to approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment. Is there anyone here for public comment tonight? Come up to the podium, sir, and state your name and address.
My name is Tom Thompson. I reside at W155 and 11751 Sunnyview Avenue. It's on the corner of Sunnyview and Williams. While this topic isn't on the agenda tonight, I spoke with Bill Nyrider earlier, and he recommended I come and bring this to the board's attention. We moved to the village in April of 2016. This would be our 6th winter here. And I basically have two concerns, one of more immediate concern and one of a little bit more long-term. The first 3 years, the plowing and the snow and ice removal was really, really good in our subdivision. The last 3 years, there's just been a very marked decline. And first, we've noticed that plows used to come through between 5 and 6 a.m. Now they're coming in at well after 7, sometimes after 9. Salt is only being dropped in the immediate intersections, and we have an incline that runs from Sunnyview to Pilgrim. And until recently, a couple of neighbors complained, and now that whole incline salted because it's very difficult to get up. We had a problem a couple of years ago in which the westbound lane of Williams wasn't even plowed. It was missed entirely. It took 3 calls to the village to get that resolved. And I guess I'm just kind of having a little bit of a problem understanding what happened. I mean, we went from just superb plowing and de-icing to it's really been substandard in the last 3 years, and I'm not sure what changed. And kind of want to know if there's going to be anything done to rectify this going forward in a more consistent fashion. The long-term concern regards the roads in the subdivision. We were, according to a 10-year plan that was posted on the village website, we were scheduled for a grinding down and a resurfacing of all the streets in our subdivision. That would have been Williams, Sunnyview, Daniels, Kurt, and part of Roberts. And then all of a sudden, last spring, a new five-year plan came out, and we weren't even on that. And some of the photos I forwarded over to Bill, I mean, literally the sides of the roads are cracking. If you had a vehicle of any substantial size, that would crumble away. And it's become a hazard to walk. There are many people that walk, ride bikes. And it's become a hazard to walk on and not too pleasant to drive on either. And I don't quite understand what happened. We were on schedule according to the 10-year plan. I mean, the previous years, the work was being done, and then all of a sudden, when our section came up, plan changed and it was dropped and it's not even on a 5-year plan. In another 5 years, the roads are going to be even far worse than they are right now. So just something to be aware of. I don't know if anybody has actually come out and walked that subdivision, but they are not in good shape at all. And so wondering when that was going to be actually put into the village's plan to get resolved, and if not, why not?
All right, well, I thank you for your comments. We can't really make any comments or anything about that tonight. However, the proper personnel are in this room and are taking notes, and
Okay.
we will we will respond to your questions on this.
Okay, I do appreciate it. And one thing I do have to say is that anytime I've contacted the village, everybody's been very professional, very kind.
Mhm.
Exactly what you'd expect in a smaller town or
Thank you,
municipality.
appreciate those.
So, yeah, very much appreciated. And look forward to hearing from you.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, is there anyone here else here for public comment? If not, we will move on to new business. Item A, 2021 Capital Fund Carryover, Truck 551 Replacement.
Good evening. I'm requesting carryover from the 2021 wastewater capital budget, the amount of $55,000 for the replacement of truck 551. The window for ordering fleet trucks in fiscal year 21 was a 2-week window back in July, and we were unable to get RFPs back and through parliamentary procedures before that window closed. We have a preliminary date of May of 2022 for that window to reopen for fleet orders, and we would like to order the replacement at that time.
All right, so committee, it's, I guess it's up to us to carry over the 55,000.
I would move to carry over the amount not to exceed $55,000 and put that forward to the village board and transfer funds from the 2021 budget to the 2022 budget. Line item 60-180-185-3730, transportation equipment.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Are there any questions or comments? Is there enough here? Based on cost increases and things like that, is that still gonna cover it, or?
We
are
hope
gonna have to pull?
We hope so. We
Not
don't know.
sure
At
yet.
this point, we don't know. We don't even know. We can't even put a spec together because we don't know what the work truck availabilities and packages are going to be at this point.
Right. Shortages, gonna have to live with them. All right, any other questions? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Second item. 2021 Capital Fund Carryover Confined Space Equipment Van.
In February of 2021, the village board authorized the purchase of a 2021 Ford van from Badger Ford. The order was placed but not yet received. I anticipate receipt of the van during Q1 of 2022. I'm requesting carryover from the 21 wastewater capital budget in the amount of $45,000 to satisfy the delivery invoice from Badger Ford for the amount not to exceed $38,973, and for the additional amount of $6,027 for the in-house upfit and setup of the new van.
I'll make a motion to carry over the money from the 2021 budget to the 2022 wastewater capital budget in the amount not to exceed $45,000 to satisfy the invoice from Badger Ford from account number 60-180-185-3730.
I'll second. All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any questions or comments on this one? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item C, truck 551 replacement purchase, and we do have a updated handout for that item.
So previously I requested to carry over the funds into 2022. Now I'm requesting to spend those funds on a 3500 series pickup to replace truck 551. As we all know, there are supply chain shortages and as a village, we need to act quick when order windows open. I'm therefore requesting authorization to spend up to the budgeted amount of $55,000 for the replacement truck. The actual purchase agreement will come back before the Public Works and Highways Committee after the order is placed for transparency reasons. But we're going to have such a short window, we're not going to be able to get pricing, come back to you for permission, go to village board for permission. We need to buy them when we can get them. And that's what I'm requesting, to spend up to the budgeted amount of $55,000.
All right, committee?
I'll move that we pre-approve the purchase of a replacement 3500 series pickup truck for truck 551 for an amount not to exceed $55,000.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion. Any questions or comments? This is quite different than the way we used to do it, but understandable the way the market is right now. So, all in favor, say aye.
I
Opposed? Motion carries. So go to, well, you got a lot on the agenda tonight. Go to item D, authorization to purchase wheel loader for the recycling center.
This was included in the 2022 capital budget for the recycling center. And here again, I'm requesting to spend up to the budgeted amount of $225,000 to procure that loader. All of our vendors are talking massive shortages of getting new equipment, especially stuff that's coming from overseas. And inventory is going to be very tight, and we need to move quickly to get ourselves in line to get a build date for equipment. There again, I will bring the actual cost and the order to the Public Works and Highways Committee, but it'll be after the order is placed for the piece of equipment. And it's for a loader, a bucket, and a set of forks for material processing at the recycling center.
All right, committee.
I'll make a motion to spend up to $225,000 for a wheel loader and accessories from line item 54.6, 57.0, 8400.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion on the table. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
We'll move on to, what are we on? Item E?
Do we break the news to that all the funds have been used up? Now Tim used all the funds up for the night.
I'm done.
You're out of luck.
Our work here is done.
All right. Item E, consideration to purchase replacement scales for chlorine and fluoride at the various wells.
So we are requesting permission to purchase 6 force flow scales and dual channel indicators. The current scales are coming to the end of their service life and can cause erratic measurement of the chemicals. 3 quotes were obtained and they are as follows. Martel was non-responsive. William Reed came in at $31,640, and the low bid was Hawkins out of Fond du Lac for $29,520.
All right, committee.
Paul, have you had any, have you worked with either Reed or Hawkins before in the past?
Yes, we have.
And either one of them you've had good?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
We bought our scales actually the last couple times from William Reed. They were just low bid or high bid this time.
Okay. I would move that we approve the purchase of 6 force flow scales and ancillary hardware from Hawkins Incorporated in the amount of $29,520 from account number 50-180-184-3950.
Second it.
All right, we have a motion on table for the new chemical scales. Any other comments, questions? If not, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item F, well 3, valve replacements on the HMO filter tank.
So the water utility is asking permission to purchase and install butterfly valves and pneumatic actuator as part of the well 3 maintenance. These valves are used in the operation of mixing and filter tanks and have come to the end of their service life. Dorner is the vendor, supplier, and installer of these valves. And their bid their quote was $19,756.
All right, committee.
I'll make a motion to purchase and install butterfly valves and pneumatic actuators from the Dorner Company in the amount not to exceed $19,756 from account 50-731-530-6400.
I'll second it.
I have a motion. Any other questions or comments? This is a budgeted item, right?
Correct.
All right. If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item G, well 3 HMO injector pumps.
So the water utility would like permission to purchase 2 new Duclo-Flex replacement HMO injector pumps. The existing pumps are original to the well, and the manufacturer has stopped making the existing models, along with replacement parts which will no longer be available. These pumps are used to inject HMO into the water prior to filtration to eliminate radium in the water. William Reed is the vendor rep and installer.
All right, committee.
I'll move for the approval of the purchase of 2 HMO pumps and installation from William Reed, not to exceed $18,428 from account 50-732-530-6500.
I'll second. All right. Any other questions or comments? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item H, water tower tank mixers.
So the water utility requests authorization to purchase and install 3 new Casco mixers at water towers 1, 2, and 3. These 3 water towers do not have any mixing capabilities. Water in a tower will benefit by eliminating the temperature stratification in the summer months and ice cap freeze-ups in the winter. Competitive bidding was not looked at due to this product is vendor repped, and the installation firm, again, is William Reed, in the price of $59,155.
Committee?
So at the present time, we don't use mixer.
No, when these towers were built, I don't think it was actually recommended by the DNR. Now they recommend that piece of equipment is installed on new towers. Some of the equipment back in the 20, 30 years ago wasn't as robust as it is today, and we just see some of the evidence of not having the mixing capabilities in these towers.
So it's just like a circulating type thing?
Actually, it's a free hanging impeller,
So, yeah.
just impellers, and it actually just once
keeps-
it gets going,
keeps
it'll
moving the water.
Yep, constantly moves it.
Got it.
I'll make a motion to purchase and install 3 Casco water mixers in water towers 1, 2, and 3 in the amount not to exceed $59,155 from account number 50-180-183-3420.
I'll second. All right. Any other questions, comments? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item I, power washing for towers 1 and 2.
So the water utility requests authorization to hire water tower clean and coat for pressure washing services on tower 1 and 2. We solicited 3 quotes, and they are as follows. Jim Orr Coating Inspection LLC came in at $24,000. Giant Maintenance and Restoration was non-responsive, and the low bid from Water Tower Clean and Coat out of Lodi was $14,400.
What can we expect from the power washing? Like, there is some rust on, what's the tower on Mequon Road? Is
That's
that-
tower 3.
that's
That we're
3?
not
Oh, you're not doing
No,
that
we're
one.
not wasting any money on that one. So
Gotcha.
towers 1 and 2, so that's over in Starlight and the one by
Gotcha.
the firehouse. It's going to remove all that undergrowth,
The algae.
algae growth,
Yeah.
correct.
Okay,
And at 7,500, I thought it was a
That's a
pretty
deal.
good
that's
price
pretty
to
reasonable.
clean it up a little bit.
And neither one of these are up for a paint.
Well, we've got previous inspections, and it really looks like Tower 1 and Tower 3 can be painted right now. Tower 3 obviously is the most visible on Mequon Road and the worst. We are going to be getting a secondary inspection coming up here in a couple weeks just to verify what our results are. But we're going to be pressure washing just these two towers.
Gotcha. All right, committee.
I'll move for the approval to hire Watertown Clean and Coat in the amount not to exceed $14,400 from account 50-741-530-6610.
Yeah, I'll second that, and I have a question though too.
Sure.
When are they gonna do that?
Great question. I haven't set a date up. We would probably do it spring or summer.
Yeah,
They have a natural sweat tendency, July and that kind of might help the process a little bit, but I'll kind of leave it up to Tower Clean and Coat. They're the professionals at it.
Anything else?
Thank you.
If not, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item J, replacement of 1-ton truck.
So the utility requests authorization to replace our 20-year-old 1-ton dump box, one-ton truck with dump box, and purchase a new 1-ton with dump box. And kind of as Tim had mentioned, with delays in supply chains along with the narrow window from the state bidder, we are told that this window will only open for a short time sometime in May. And so we're asking permission to spend up to our budgeted amount of $71,000. We are hopeful but cautious. There won't be any potential price hikes. If that were the case, I would inform the committee. The current unit will be sold on auction when we take receipt of the new one.
All right, committee.
I'll make a motion to spend up to $71,000 to purchase a new one-ton truck with dump box from the state bidding process from account number 50-180-185-3920.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We're on to item K, DNR Urban Forestry Grant.
Hey, good evening. No action needed here, just really more for information. Back in September, we came here in with this committee and talked about applying for a DNR forestry grant, which was going to be had a couple components to it: updating our GIS system, public engagement, and then some educational training for our staff. And I just wanted to let the committee know that we applied for the grant, worked with Wachtell on that, and we got it. So we're already working on laying out the process here for the year, and really nothing else to report unless there were any questions on that.
Oh, that's fantastic news.
Yeah,
We got the grant.
just want to let you guys know.
Great, thank you. We're on the second page here. We are. Item L, aerial lift truck purchase. On trucks tonight.
Yeah, so we budgeted $180,000 to replace the aerial lift truck that we currently have. It's getting close to the end of its useful service life. That truck is seen all over the place, replacing signs, trimming trees, erecting traffic signals and street lights. And so we've really become very dependent on it. We did solicit bids from 3 area vendors for VersaLift VST 401, and they're outlined here before you. And so we're just looking for permission to go ahead and make that purchase.
All right, so the low bidder was utility sales and service.
They were, yep.
Right. All right, committee.
I'll move for the recommend purchase of the VersaLift VST 401 from utility sales and service in an amount not to exceed $177,469. Those monies allocated from the highway capital account, 542, 570, 8520.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any questions, comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Item M, Parks Department pickup truck purchase.
Reoccurring theme, and you're hearing it for that reason. We had a very, very small window last year of 2 weeks, and like Tim mentioned, we couldn't turn that around in time. As you remember, though, Paul was kind enough to present for me last month. We did in the Parks Department get a window to purchase that truck, and we did that last year. But we're looking to the same thing these guys have that they're facing. We're going to have that small window again this year. So we're just looking to get authorization to purchase our 2022 Parks pickup truck in an amount not to exceed $45,000.
All right, committee.
I'll make a motion to spend up to $45,000 for pickup truck for the Parks Department. Out of account number 40, 55 3 57 0 85 20.
I'll second it.
All right, we have a motion, a second. Any questions, comments? All these trucks that we're replacing now, they going out for auction? Or are they
Yes.
too bad to go out
Nope.
for auction? Nope.
Anything we get rid of goes out for auction.
Okay. With that, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item N, patrol truck commitment.
I wish it said patrol truck purchase, but it doesn't. This is the strangest topic I've ever presented in my time here. So we budgeted for a patrol truck. We do that every year. Very important piece of equipment to keep village winter operations moving forward. We got a budgetary figure. We budgeted for it. Truck Country, who's been our frequent vendor of these vehicles, sold 83 trucks last year to area municipalities and companies. They got 9 assigned to them this year. Those 9 were already committed to last summer. So as we're putting this budget together, I shouldn't say all of them, but most of those were committed to already last summer. By the time we got around to shoring things up to bring things for this meeting, information for this meeting tonight, they had made those commitments to other municipalities. So because this is a serious thing, Matt and I went down there and we had a conversation with them in person, and they are willing to commit 2 vehicles to us in 2023. But we have to make that commitment to them right now in 2022. And so this is very unorthodox that we're asking for this, but we're not going to get a truck this year already, and we won't get trucks next year unless we commit to them sometime in 2022 when they open their window. So I'm here tonight. I know this is different and unique, like some of the other things. This is maybe even a little bit more different and unique, but I'm asking for permission to make that commitment for these vehicles when they open the window in
So
2022.
this is a commitment for this budget and a future budget.
It is. And I just want to paint this picture. In 2021, you authorized a truck here at this committee and then again at Village Board, which was ordered earlier this year. That truck chassis showed up. It went out to Burke Truck and Equipment. They have the equipment put on it. We probably won't see that truck until sometime late this year before the next snow season. So it takes a very long time to get that truck purchased and built and back to us. And so by not purchasing a truck in 2021, that's going to put us behind the 8 ball a little bit. We'll deal with it. What I don't want to see happen is that we continue that process by not listening to what our vendors are telling us and making the commitments we need to keep the village on track.
Okay, I would say we'll look for a motion here, but this can't go on consent agenda. This one's going to have to be reviewed by the village board before we commit to something like this.
Yep. Kind of expected that.
What is the What is the oldest patrol truck in your fleet right now, year-wise?
We are in the early 2000s, 2001, 2002.
And that's actively, every time, for the most part, every time
It's a
there's a-
spare now at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
You base it more on year or mileage?
They go basically, well, yeah, they continue to drop down. The mileage is never the issue. It's the abuse they get. It goes on wear and tear and age more than anything else.
I want to say since I've been on the board, there was probably 1 year where we approved 2, and besides that,
There is, and that's
It's
coming up
been-
again.
it's been 1 per year
Yeah.
just to keep the
Yeah.
the flow going
Cycle going.
and, you know, stretch out the budget.
I guess one other question I have is, how can they commit to, you know, 2 of them for a future year? What kind of guarantee do you have, if the board would say, yeah, go ahead with this, what kind of guarantee do you have from them that it'll be there?
Yeah, that's a great question. I have a verbal commitment that if they get 1 vehicle, the village of Germantown would get it. If they get 2 vehicles, we'll get it. If they get 3, we'll get 2 and somebody else might get something. It's a verbal commitment. It's not in writing.
'Cause that,
I don't think
when
we're
I
gonna
hear
get
that
'em-
word if, that,
Yeah,
right, I mean,
Nobody knows the supply chain.
yeah,
right. And again, if they get
better.
no trucks, we're gonna be sitting in the same boat
But-
again next year.
it could get better as well, right?
It could
As
be,
Nick was saying.
yes. Yep.
Yeah, Larry,
2 things. One, Scott, you're not looking to give them money right away. You're just looking for permission to place. the
Not at
order
all.
as soon as they
All
tell
we're
you,
looking to
just
do is make a
understand it's not
commitment.
Money going out. It's just the ability for them to commit to the purchase when that window of opportunity arises. And if I could just explain one more thing, Scott, I think the 2 members of the committee may be understanding of patrol trucks. We have how many routes? 13?
14.
14 routes. If you replace 1 a year, by the time you replace that last truck, it's 14 or 15 years old.
Yeah.
They're pretty.
Or older.
They're pretty much done
Yeah.
at 12 and 13 years already, with all the salt that they abuse. And surprisingly enough, the cabs inside take as much abuse as the outside does. And so they're borderline at 13, 14, 15 years already. So to get out of that replacement process, you fall behind really quick. You never catch up on those trucks getting caught up again.
And we do not know the price that we'll actually end up paying.
Yeah, so we had a budgetary figure of $200,000.
Per truck.
What's that?
that's
100,000
simple.
per truck?
200.
No, that's one vehicle.
Okay.
This year's budget was $200,000 for 1 vehicle. That's for the chassis and the equipment to be put on. This is the first time ever that the vendor has come back and the manufacturer has put a raw material surcharge. So even though somebody was told this is what your budgetary figure is and this is what it should cost for your truck, they're putting an additional $4,500 on that vehicle. So there's multiple things going on here. And I guess the important part that I want to let the committee know is that I'm working to do everything I can to put Germantown in the right position and make sure we're getting these vehicles that we need. And I've always got the village's best interest in mind when I'm doing it.
All right, committee, do we have a motion to commit to 2 purchases here? Or at least push it to the village board?
We'll definitely push it to the village board, but I agree, and Larry brought up a really good point. It's not shelling out any additional monies at this point in time. And when you say, and I was not aware how many routes you have to replace a truck, how many of us hang on to a car for 14 or 15 years,
Mhm.
right? So, and these get a lot of wear and tear. Granted, I'm sure there's some winters that are much lighter than others, but I mean, I definitely would not have a problem making a motion that it gets referred to the village board.
All right, and I'll second that. Any other questions, comments on this? If not, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And again, we're going to push this to the village board, so it will not go on a consent agenda.
All right.
The,
Thank you very much.
Line item. Thank you. All right, with that, we're on to item O, County Y and Freistadt Road intersection reconstruction payment in amount not to exceed $100,000.
That'd be mine. So, about 2 years ago, when the jurisdictional transfer of Goldendale Road, Highway Y from the county to the village was made, part of that agreement was, we were to receive a sum of, money from them. I wish I wasn't quoted on this, but I believe it was $792,000. But part of that agreement, that jurisdictional transfer agreement, was that the intersection of Freistadt and Goldendale would be reconstructed, and it has been. The county's part was to design that, bid the contract, manage the contract. The village's commitment was a maximum outlay of $100,000, no matter what that contract came in at. It did come in at a little over $200,000, so the county did have to bite a little bit more of the construction cost, but they also fronted the cost for the design firm to design it and their cost of their person to manage the construction of it. What I'm bringing to you tonight is the village's payment, approval of the payment to the county in the amount of $100,000 for our portion of that agreement.
All right, so this was all agreed upon prior to and.
It's all part of the
Yeah,
agreement,
no.
but it was a big sum of money. I wanted to bring it through the committee.
Mhm.
So it's a matter of record that we had this invoice to us and process it properly.
Committee?
So then Larry, you're saying that, the remaining it was 200,000 cost. The other 100,000 then is paid by the county?
Correct.
Okay.
And the design firm, they hired a design firm out of Fond du Lac to design the intersection and bid it out, and they had their person manage and inspect the construction of it. So
And that was part of the agreement?
all part of the agreement, yes.
Got it.
That was part of the transfer agreement, right?
Jurisdictional transfer agreement,
Jurisdictional
correct. It was
from
all part of the
countywide
agreement.
back to us. Yep.
Mhm. I will say the intersection is functioning very well with the truck traffic through there now.
Absolutely.
Much better.
Working very well.
Gosh. Once they got the guy not to park on Freistadt Road, just east of the intersection, then it was much easier, yeah.
All right, then can I have a motion, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the payment of $100,000 to Washington County.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion to approve the payment to Washington County. Any other questions or comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item P, Developers Agreement for Goldendale Road, Germantown LLC, AKA Murphy Pet Foods.
So this is the development going on, which has started on the northwest corner of Holy Hill Road and Goldendale Road. It's gone by many names, Murphy Pet Foods, Golden Hippo. I'm not sure yet what I'm referred to it as we do the inspection reports. As you know, the development agreements basically refer to and cover any public improvements that will be made on the project. The public improvement on that would be water main. There'll be water main installed on the site to the building and a fire suppression line around the building with 4 hydrants. That water main will become public water main. It will be an easement and given to us by the developer to add to our water system. It has all been designed and approved by engineering and the water utility. And so that's basically what this development covers. There's nothing, there's no financial incentives or anything like that in this project.
So nothing out of the ordinary.
Nothing out of the
Pretty much,
ordinary at all. This is probably one of the most straightforward development agreements I've brought to this committee in 5 or 6 years.
And again, this has to go through village board, so we're just recommending approval.
The only odd thing here is that they're using the 2 ponds that were built by other projects. So there's no
Further wastewater?
No
Or
further.
Not wastewater,
stormwater
I'm
pond.
sorry, stormwater,
Yeah, the dielectric pond.
not wastewater.
The dielectric pond and the pond that was built up north of that for the Illings Dickman development site.
Uh-huh.
Those ponds have been sized to accordingly to handle this flow from here. So that was really the only odd thing about this agreement.
All right, committee?
I would move for the development, for the approval of the development agreement for the Goldendale Road LLC and forward that recommendation to the village board.
I'll second that.
All right, we have motion and a second. Any other questions on the developers agreement? You have one more shot at it anyway, so. If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll move on to project updates.
Answer any questions you have. Nothing really particular for me right now to point out.
Winter months, there isn't as much going on.
So,
The-
I'll point out that Holy Hill Road is getting near its final design. The power pole should start be relocated sometime late January, or early February. Those power poles get moved to the south actually quite a bit. Once you see those move, you'll have an idea of where the road actually lays out there.
Mm.
Most of the improvement of the road widening goes to the south. As far as the tank elevation goes, that I just received the final draft of the engineer's report to be submitted to the DNR. That should go out as soon as I get back from vacation. PP&I project is something to mention real quick, and that is we've had a great response from the residents this time. A lot of that's, I think, due to engineering firm of Grafe. They did a lot of door drops and contacts. I think we're at take out two lots that are out there, we're at 14 residents out of 120 that didn't respond. That's very good. We expect to get 5 more, 6 more as work starts. So I think when they tried doing this back in 2011, they were I think they had about 80 or 90 responses. So this was just a little bit better than what they did back a while back.
Staten Maple Road, did I hear that may be pushed to March?
It was until last week when the DOT put their foot down and said they're going to start charging penalties if the poles aren't received. And somehow or other, the electrical firm had the delivery updated by a month. So we're supposed to receive the poles in the end of January, last week of January sometime, and they are required to find any crew they can and start putting them up right away. Or the DOT is going to start levying fines on them.
Good, little pressure, huh? Anything else in the packet? Great, thanks, Larry. With that, we will move on to setting the next meeting date, which would be the first Tuesday or Wednesday in February typically, which would be Tuesday the 1st, or Wednesday the 2nd, if either one of those are okay.
Either.
Yep.
You prefer either one?
Which dates were they? Sorry.
1st or the 2nd, Tuesday or Wednesday?
Either one's fine.
Let's go with Tuesday the 1st then for our next meeting. 6 o'clock in this boardroom. With that, we will adjourn the meeting at 6:43.